Talladega Superspeedway. It is a bucket list stop when you look at the NASCAR calendar. You see it all here on the infield and on the track. This NASCAR weekend begins with Xfinity Series qualifying on a cloudy afternoon, right around 70 degrees. Yes, this is Talladega. Here's our Fox weather. I said around 70, 76, got up close to 80 today. And the clouds may help add some speed to these cars that are already fast, because that's what it's all about when you come to this place in Central Alabama. With Michael Waltrip, who won here in 2003, I'm Adam Alexander. First car on track, the 13 of Jay White.
Jay White had his best career Xfinity finish here at Talladega back in May of 13, Adam, when he came home in the 8th position. Top 10 run for Jay White. Got Buffalo Wild Wings on that number 13, and he wants to be a part of this race tomorrow because it's going to be a wild one, and the Wild Wings car would be fun to have in the wild one.
42 cars here for qualifying. Only 38 make the show. 33 get in on speed. And so if you can beat 9, you're going to race here tomorrow. And this is 2 rounds of qualifying, Michael. The opening round will determine who's in the show and who misses out. It will set the lineup 11 to 38. Top 10 qualifiers in round 1 move to round 2 and run for the pole.
Yeah, this is a car that will have to qualify in on time. Talking to Jay a little bit earlier today, and he's confident that they brought a car that will race well. He's just really worried about this car. But Adam, that's a race car driver. You got to make it on time. You're worried about your car. You want to make sure you're firing on all cylinders. The team's got the heights right so he can dance around this place and make this show. Because we say it every now and then, and it's happened before, if you're in it, you might can win it. It's going to get that wild tomorrow.
If a driver were to be a NASCAR track, Jay White
Talladega
would be Talladega, wouldn't he? Fast, wide open, and unpredictable. The first of 42 cars has made a run in qualifying. Jay White on the board, 53.682 seconds. A couple of cars made a qualifying run while we were away. The 34 of Jesse Awuji hit the track, 53.773 for him. He's second behind Jay White, and third, Alabama's own Mike Harmon making a return to the series, and he clocked in 54.56. That is third. Regan Smith won here a handful of years ago. He's with us today on Pit Road. Good afternoon, Regan.
Oh, it was definitely a handful of years ago, Adam. It was actually a lot of years ago, I believe. Sam Mayer last week, a tough week, didn't quite get the result that you wanted to get. Put that out of your memory bank, though, and all focused on Talladega now?
Yeah, I mean, we've come to a place where you're going to have friends, and I'm going to use anyone I can get up to the front. Our first Bank of Alabama Chevrolet is going to be really fast because Junior Motorsports always has cars that go so fast around this place. And I have 3 teammates that I know I can rely on here. We've had so many talks over the last couple of weeks, over the course of this year, that I know that we'll be in a really decent spot.
Good luck in qualifying. Thanks, Sam. Josh?
Over here with Cole Custer, 2 straight top 5 finishes for you so far this season in the last couple of weeks. How do you keep that going here now at Talladega?
Oh, hopefully we have a little bit of luck on our side, but we just got to control what we can control. Hopefully we have a fast Haas Automation Ford Mustang here. We were fast at Daytona, so I'm looking forward to it. But me and Riley and all the Ford guys have been talking a lot about how we can hopefully better try and control the race. So hopefully just got to go out there and be aggressive and hopefully get $100 grand at the end of it.
Cole looking for his 3rd pole of the season, guys.
He referenced the $100 grand, going for the dash for cash, Michael.
Yeah, and he also mentioned teammates and positioning, and that's what tomorrow is going to be a whole lot about. You want to make sure you look around and see some of your friends, somebody driving the same type of car you are, so you can line up and maybe take the whole group to the front. I think that's become more recently about manufacturers than it's ever been, and these guys leaning on their teammates and leaning on other folks that races the brand of car that they're in order to get the win.
And as we talk about, and you just said it, I mean, strength in numbers, and Ford really hasn't had the numbers in the field to allow them to go out and compete levelly with the other, on a level playing field with the other manufacturers. Added to the fleet, Cole Custer being a part of that. This is Jay Buford.
And he's going to be the fastest so far.
Easily to the top. 53.050, jumping in front of Dexter Stacy, who is second.
We talk about beating 9 cars. Just keep that in mind so that you know that you're going to race tomorrow. Jay White is right in the middle right now. He's only beaten 2, so he's anxiously watching the scoreboard to see how this plays out. Garrett Smithley, the 30-year-old out of Pennsylvania, takes the green.
Garrett missed the show last week at Martinsville, looking for an opportunity to race here tomorrow, driving the 4-car for JD Motorsports. And when you look at his career and where he has had the best results, it has come in the draft. Best career finish coming 2018, a top 5 at Daytona.
He always seems to surface toward the front. You said it, Adam. You know, you get on these big
11 cars into the opening round of qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega Superspeedway with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. I said Regan Smith won here a handful of years ago, and he said actually it was a lot of years ago. He won in 2013. You won here in 2003. Would you say that was a handful or a lot?
That's more than 2 handfuls. 20 years ago, I'll be darned.
Here's the format. I said we're in the opening round. All 42 cars go out in this first round. We will say which cars are going home after that. 4 will not make the show. We'll set the lineup 11 to 38. And the top 10 from round 1 move to round 2 and have a chance to go out again and run for the pole. Ryan Ellis driving the 45 for Alpha Prime.
Ooh.
His lap 11th.
That's surprising. He was trying to raise some cane, but it didn't work.
Not what I expected. Josh?
Well, down here with Sammy Smith and coming off a runner-up finish at Martinsville, but this is your first Xfinity race, at least here out in Talladega. What have you learned about how to handle this race this weekend?
Yeah, first time here. I'm excited. I don't have much super speedway experience, but hopefully we got a lot of fast Toyota GR Supras, and hopefully we can get them up front tomorrow and go get that $100,000.
Nice and good luck.
Thanks.
That's a good attitude, isn't it? That's a good thing to wake up on a Saturday morning and say, you know what, I think I'm going to get me $100,000.
Especially when most kids his age at his stage of life are thinking about going to prom that night, and he's thinking about winning $100,000. I don't know what I was doing April of my senior year of high school, but I wasn't thinking about winning $100,000. Here's Joe Graff Jr., 13th car to make a qualifying run. Got his best career finish of the season back at Daytona, and was 8th here last year, so you know he can get it done.
Tracking pretty solid there, just 0.3 off of the fastest. Get him up there around the top 5, is that right?
That's what the tractor indicates right now. And the payoff for Joe Graff Jr. puts him 4th. He is locked in to tomorrow's event.
As Brennan Poole comes down in the 6th car to take the green flag.
His teammate, Garrett Smithley, right now sits 5th on the board. This is the 2nd Chevrolet from JD Motorsports.
Brennan finished pretty good here back in April of 2016. Top 5.
He still wonders, why did they have to throw the caution? Because we got that caution that came out right as he was coming to the line, and that would have equaled his first career victory. Instead, the caution comes out. You go to the tape. Elliott Sadler won. You know who was equally as disappointed that day? Justin Allgaier, because he was 2nd. And I'll never forget them being parked right down here in the tri-oval, awaiting word from NASCAR.
Waiting the word. We've done that a few times in NASCAR. It's always intense. Adam, speaking of which, what I was doing April of my senior year in high school, I was sitting in the grandstands here at Talladega watching my brother get beat on a 3-wide pass to the checkered flag by Ron Bouchard. What a great memory that was. And man, everybody were on their feet, and that's how long I've been coming to Talladega, since 1981.
Brennan Poole, fast here in 2016. Good speed today. He's 2nd behind Jade Buford. 2 cars on track while we were away, and they both have put themselves in the show tomorrow. Kyle Sieg is 6th, 53.436, and Cesar Baccarella runs a 53.452. That's good enough for 7th, and that means they will race here tomorrow. And Jeremy Clements just finished his qualifying run, surprisingly 16 of the 17 that have been on track. I'm surprised they didn't have more speed. Michael, you and I said earlier, if you're in it, you can win it. He had that philosophy last summer at Daytona, and he won, but not where they wanted to be in qualifying, no doubt.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that lap. Just checking out who gets locked in as we proceed through this first round. And I had him etched in that top 10 even. And no, that didn't happen. Didn't happen. Something must have not been right under the hood for him.
Good news for him, that win last year that will help him out when it comes to making it into the race tomorrow. You see the yellow line there. That is the separation for those drivers that right now would move on to the 2nd round. Top 10 advance to run for the pole. And our 18th driver out, Gray Galding, in the 08, driving for Bobby Dotter. His teammate earlier, David Starr, went 14th, and Galding is tracking well above the bubble line here.
been pretty good on these big tracks in the drafting. He's able to run for wins a couple times close.
Saw it here, saw it
Daytona.
at Daytona. Yeah, Greg Alding 6th right now, Regan.
Well, Adam, a guy that loves coming here is Parker Retzloff. Parker, last time we were at a super speedway, you almost got your first win. So close at the end at Daytona. What do you think about that chances of that tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it all, you just got to be there at the end of the race. I think that everyone at Jordan Anderson Racing has built a really fast car for another super speedway race. So I think that I just have to thank everyone at Funkaway for all their support. And I think we should be there at the end. And I hope we have another car as fast as Xfinity 10G to be there at the end.
Thanks, Parker.
If you want to make an upset pick, I like Parker. I
do
like
too.
Jeff Burton. I like Jordan Anderson Racing.
What about Jeffrey Earnhardt?
And I don't mind this guy.
How about
who a year ago turned us all on our heads because he won the pole and then finished second.
so close? What a fun day that was with Larry Mack down on the pit box. Just really cool. Sort of took us back in time a bit, didn't it, Adam?
It did. RCR swept the poles here a season ago. In the spring, it was Earnhardt. In the fall, it was Austin Hill. And this is a good lap for Jeffrey.
You're going to say that Austin Hill name a lot here with Talladega, aren't you? I mean, you just know that he's going to be a part of the story. Just so good on these big tracks.
Earnhardt is third.
Good lap.
Awesome job.
Josh?
Down here with Chandler Smith asking me about the Boulevard. Let's talk about this race first of all. I know you got a chance to start here last year. What did you pick up on? Obviously a different team, but what did you learn?
Yeah, just how different the Xfinity cars race from the trucks here at Talladega and even Daytona as well. So taking all the experience that I've got from the trucks and applying that to this has been a really big key for myself because they're way more aero dependent. You got to work the air way more than you do in these cars. So it's kind of hand in hand with what I talk about each weekend and week out is the race is a lot more aggressive truck racing than it is Xfinity. So being able to be the aggressor and be able to attack and always be able to gain positions is pretty big.
Thanks, good luck, Chandler.
Chandler Smith made his Xfinity debut one season ago right here at Talladega, then driving a Toyota for Sam Hunt. Anthony Alfredo, look at these numbers, Michael. In the green by a wide margin. Again, we're tracking against 10th, which is that bubble position to advance on to the second round of qualifying, but this one might very well stick to the top. 52.69 for the 78.
He said he was going to be as fast as that internet. And I think he had a little bit of premonition. What a great lap. As Josh Williams comes across and takes the green flag here at the 2.66 mile super speedway in Alabama. Love this racetrack. Love this event. Adam looking out over that infield. They've been there all week. Campers just having a good time. I was down there in the infield just this morning celebrating some Wendy's fun with Noah Gregson and Jamie Little. We're going to have a special on that this weekend during the races. There he goes. It's quite a battle down into turn 3. Josh is holding off Cesar Baccarella.
We were talking earlier about Jay White, and if a driver had a track, he would be Talladega. I would say the same about Josh Williams. If he were a racetrack, this would be all about him. Fits his personality to a T.
He's going to squeeze in that top 10, I believe. Yeah, 6th place so far.
Halfway home in the opening round of qualifying. 21 have been out, 21 to go. And the first of those, Sam Mayer, who was oh so close to his first career victory last fall, lost to A.J. Allmendinger by 15 one-thousandths of a second right here at Talladega.
We'll see what these Chevys have brought to the game. We talked about raw speed. Do they have what it takes just to go out there and blow the competition away? That's what you hope for as a driver. It does a couple things, Adam. It gives you confidence that you know you've got a car underneath you that you can go win with, but it also sends a message to the competition. You know, we're going to have to line up with those guys if we're going to be any way to hang toward the front, because that team or that manufacturer, that group has the fastest cars here. That's what you hope to accomplish during qualifying. And then on race day, you just hope you can hang on to that fast car because of the aggressive setup that your crew chief has put under it. This is a pretty intense 52 seconds too as a driver. I talk about the fast car and all the things that the teams do to make that car fast. As a driver, you don't want to mess it up. You got to run the perfect lap around this place.
Sam Mayer is third behind Jade Buford, and the fastest man in Alabama, Anthony Alfredo. Anthony Alfredo leads the way. It's Xfinity Series qualifying from Talladega Superspeedway with Michael Waltrip. I'm Adam Alexander. Josh Sims is here, and so is Regan Smith.
Adam, I think one of my favorite stories to come out of last week is the fact that Brandon Jones finally got that luck to change just a little bit. A top 5 run for you. You guys have been quick all year long. How nice is it to carry that momentum into Talladega this weekend?
Yeah, it was a relief for sure. I mean, gosh, you just alluded to it, but we've had speed all year long to do as good as we did last week, finishing top 5 and just having it fully closed out. So it was nice to finally see it somewhat all come together and have a good finish. But then we're at another track today, and you couldn't get any more opposite than Talladega from Martinsville, right? So we were laughing and talking before, but there's actually a lot, I think, that goes into the driver's hands here at Talladega in qualifying. Kind of a fun place to qualify at. I know you're wide open, but there's a lot of tricks of the trade here on how to really set a fast lap. So it's going to be who studied that the best and who can figure it out here.
Thanks, Brandon.
I like that. I agree. You know, you want to make sure you get a good launch. It all starts with that. You hit your shift marks perfectly, and then you hold that wheel as close to that yellow line as you can. You don't want to scrape that yellow line, though, because if you do, that'll scrub off some speed. So there are a lot of things as a driver you can do, and I appreciate Brandon pointing that out, because a lot of times you'll hear a guy get out of the car and say, well, anybody could do this. Well, anybody could probably do it, but not anybody can do it perfectly.
And Brandon, even though he hasn't won at Talladega, pretty good here over the years, a pair of runner-up finishes. And that 9 car was able to pull into victory lane 1 season ago, courtesy of Noah Gregson. Junior Motorsports still looking for their first win of 2023. But to put that in perspective, they had only 1 win at this stage a year ago. So everybody just relax. It's going to be just fine for JRM. And here's a driver that could very well get his first career win tomorrow night.
Yeah. Best Talladega finish is 12th, so you know he's going to do better than that. If he's running at the finish, he's going to be running up front.
Sheldon Creed to second. Josh?
Down here with Derek Kraus, 2 Xfinity starts in your career, and you finished top 10 in both of them. You're making this adjustment look easy. What's the transition been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot throughout the 2 starts at Richmond and Martinsville, and it's really cool to have Leaf Home and Water Solutions on the car this weekend, and hopefully this thing's as fast as 10G internet.
Thanks and good luck, Derek.
How good has this 10 car been this year? The all-star car at Colic, top 10 every race with 5 different drivers. And of course they got the win at Circuit of the Americas with A.J. Allmendinger.
That's wild to say, isn't it? Top 10 every week.
Mm-hmm. With a huge collection of drivers, including Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, series champion. Here's Kaz Grala.
He wasn't waving at the infield, Adam. He was reaching out the window to try to deflect a little air off that rear spoiler. Talk about tricks of the trade. They're not secrets, because we can ride right along and watch. Trying to hold that window net so no air comes in the car. But you want to run a perfect line. So decides he better put 2 hands on the wheel to do that.
He told us they were going to have speed to race, maybe not as much in qualifying. And that's probably why he's 15th. Of 24 cars that have been out so far.
53, 58.
He's the only person driver that I've heard say that they might be set up for the race. Everyone else has told me this is just a sheer speed contest right here. Be interesting to see if he's able to cut through the pack when they throw the green tomorrow.
Blaine Perkins in the 02. This is a team, Our Motorsports, that performed really well at Talladega last season, and Blaine coming off a top 15 run at Martinsville last Saturday night.
A couple years ago, finished a Talladega best 13th in the fall of 21. Good looking Ollie's ride, isn't it? Real bright. Spotter's going to say, yeah, I see you there, Blaine. And that's a big key to when we go racing tomorrow, Adam. You know that. The spotter's relationship to these drivers, how they're able to communicate to them what's going on around them. Almost just riding along beside them, if you will, just telling them everything they can't see, and hopefully the keys to getting to victory lane.
As a play-by-play man, I appreciate the bright, distinct colors as well.
That's right. And there they are.
Our tracker is working against 10th in that bubble position for those drivers that will advance to run for the pole. Perkins is 18th, 53-63. Riley Herbst double duty this weekend. He is the only driver, Michael, in the history of NASCAR to finish top 10 in his first ever Truck Series race, top 10 first ever Xfinity race, and Cup race, top 10 Daytona 500 earlier this year.
That's impressive.
Pretty good.
And what also is impressive is the way that this young man has come along as a driver in this 98 car. He is, I like that line too, right down to the bottom. He's just really gotten consistent and steady. Listening to an interview with him the other day, he said it's just been a real refreshing year to me because I've just told the team this is what I need behind the wheel to be successful. And he said they are delivering for me.
And I go back to what we said earlier in the benefits of the draft and having partners. But he didn't always have help. Now he's got Cole Custer. I mentioned Brett Moffitt, the Sieg organization running Fords. They have got some real power with great speed that could work together in the draft here tomorrow. And the lap for Riley Herbst puts him 4th on the board of the 26 that have made a run. Josh?
Alongside Justin Allgaier, last time I talked to you, you're dealing with a stomach bug. I'm glad you're feeling much better. I just saw you guys swapping out a tire. Everything all good with the team heading into qualifying?
Yeah, so we're obviously excited about coming here to Talladega. This is, a great place for junior motorsports. But we had a tire equalize, which all that means is that there's an inner liner and outer liner, and the pressures equalize. They're supposed to have 2 different pressures in them. So, luckily it was before the first round, so we were able to get that tire swapped out. And NASCAR, obviously works with us in that scenario, and we didn't have to, forfeit a position and make an unapproved adjustment. So, it's unfortunate, but at least we found it now. We're able to still get our qualifying effort in. But to have Hellman's and Right Hunger Spark Change and Walmart on the car this week, we got a good shot at going out here and having a really solid day tomorrow. But I'm excited about qualifying today. We felt like we improved our program in Daytona earlier this year, and the guys have been working really hard to make sure we got a fast car for qualifying. So we want to be as fast as Xfinity 10G, but there's a number of other guys that have laid down some pretty good laps, so we'll have to see where we stack up.
Thanks, good luck, Justin.
Talk about those fast Fords. What about this young man here at Talladega? He's been so good. Teaming up with those Stewart-Haas cars, I mean, you could be talking about a real potent combination.
Sieg is 17th, 15 to go in the opening round of qualifying here at Talladega. You mentioned the speed of Sieg. Top 5 in 4 of the last 5 here, including both last year. And what's going on here?
Ooh, see the right rear?
Oh, yeah.
Right rear's down there.
Flat right rear tire, buddy. Flat right rear tire.
Problems for Parker Kligerman.
Oh, they said good save. See if we can see what they're talking about. That's not what you want at Talladega. Talk about the high speeds and the lack of downforce. You lose a tire, you can lose a car in a hurry. Look at it dragging right there. You can see some rubber coming off the tire, and he just calmly guides it down toward the bottom.
What's disappointing about this is you felt like he was someone that would have had a real chance to advance to the second round, because his teammate Jade Buford is currently 3rd on the board. Big Machine bringing 2 cars to race here at Talladega this weekend.
NASCAR will probably go out, take a look at the track. We saw some debris coming off of that 48 car.
So we'll take a break. 14 cars remain in the first round of qualifying. Anthony Alfredo continues at the top. We are going to experience quite a departure from what we had last Saturday night in the Xfinity Series here tomorrow. Racing on the short track at Martinsville Speedway, it was all about John Hunter Nemechek.
Dominance, and you can see drives off to a half straightaway victory and then sets it on fire, Adam. Good thing he has Pi Barker to put it out, right?
Led 198 of 250 laps, gets his 2nd win of the year, 4th of his career. And he won $100,000 in the process. These are the other drivers that are going for the cash tomorrow. Sammy Smith, Josh Berry, and Cole Custer. Here's Regan.
Well, Adam couldn't help as we were showing the video right there of that car catching on fire as you're in victory lane doing the celebrations. You broke out and smile. Has it stopped all week, or are you still pumped up?
I'm still pumped up. That was one heck of a burnout for sure. We literally burned it down, and it was awesome to get Pi Barker Fire and Safety for their first race with us on the car in the Xfinity Series and get them to victory lane. So super, super neat. But excited for today here at Talladega. Mobil 1 colors. Hopefully our Toyota GR Supra is as fast as Xfinity 10G, and hopefully we can go qualify on the pole. It's Taylor's birthday today, so happy birthday, Tay. Hopefully we can go get her a pole flag or something.
Thanks, John Hunter.
That's great. Happy birthday to Taylor, who got quite the ride last week. And that was fun, watching them come to victory lane, Taylor and Aspen, and seeing that, and what an awesome time for that family. And those are the great moments. We saw it Saturday night. We saw it again with Larson on Sunday, and congratulations to them as they are now expecting their second child. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun to see Larson do a burnout all the way around the racetrack and say, I'm not going to set my car on fire. I'm just going to burn them off all the way around. What a great celebration it was for Kyle.
Who had the better burnout?
I don't know. His was more, John Hunter's was more dramatic, but I really liked watching Larson spin out all the way around the track.
The 2023 USFL season continues Saturday as the Memphis Showboats take on the Birmingham Stallions, 7 Eastern on Fox. Then on Sunday, it's the Michigan Panthers and the Philadelphia Stars, also at 7 Eastern on FS1. So we got word NASCAR was going to let the 48 cool down, change tires, and go out and make a lap. They have elected not to make their qualifying run here. That's the word we have received.
See the whole team overlooking things there. Maybe there's something they think cut that tire that they need to address. So I wouldn't understand why they wouldn't take a lap unless there is something wrong with the car.
But the way they massage on these cars, if you think there's any chance something could be out of balance, you don't want to put him in harm's way. We'll step aside, and this is the reason for the break in the action, a tire issue for Parker Kligerman in qualifying. Jordan Anderson Racing, they are on the climb. Jordan's so good in the Craftsman Truck Series as a driver building his program. Michael decided a couple of years ago to go Xfinity racing, and he's been impressive on the ownership side.
Just his passion from the very beginning, driving his own hauler to the racetracks to get to race his truck, grown this operation into 2-car team with Jeb Burton and Parker Retzloff. That Daytona performance kicked off a strong season for this team, and it's been so much fun to watch because I think we all know in the garage area and around the sport how passionate Jordan's been. Had that terrible crash here a year ago, rebounded from that, and just kept on digging.
I said Retzloff should have gotten 1 playoff point at Daytona because he kind of gave Austin Hill the shove he needed when the caution came out to put him out front. Retzloff will be the next car we see on track. Josh?
Down here with Sheldon Creed, second on the board in the first round so far. So do you have anything left to go a little bit more in that next round?
Yeah, I feel like our cars always go a little better in the second round. I don't know if it's just a heat thing or I don't know. They just seem to go faster the second round. So ECR guys always do a great job building our engines. RCR guys do a great job building our speedway cars, and just really happy to have this Wheeling Manufacturing Chevy Camaro up front here, and hopefully we can make the second round and have a good lap.
Thanks, Sheldon.
What's it going to take to get to round 2, do you think, Michael? Right now, best of the bunch, 52.69. Sheldon, 52.74.
Good question, Adam. These things are so unpredictable. I would have put Parker Kligerman right up front, and now he doesn't even get to make a lap. So you never know at Daytona or Talladega what's going to happen from the qualifying all the way to the race.
14 to go in the opening round of qualifying here at Talladega. Michael, do you think Riley Herbst will go back tonight and watch our qualifying show?
I think he will.
Well, I hope he doesn't pay close attention to the stat that I gave that said he's the first driver to finish top 10 in his first career start in Truck, Xfinity, and Cup, because he's the first since 1996 when Rusty Wallace did it. He's the 5th all-time. It's still impressive.
That's some great company to keep if you're Riley Herbst.
But Riley, I'm sorry if I've let you down. Let's hear from him, Josh.
Yeah, down here with Riley, the man they're talking about up in the booth right now. But Pretty good first round so far. You got some speed. How you feeling about what you can do in the second round and also what you can do in the race?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll make it to the second round. I hope this Ford Mustang Monster Energy is pretty fast, but we'll see what we got for sure. Obviously coming off 2 tough weeks with really fast Ford Mustangs and just getting wrecked out. So hopefully we can kind of avoid the chaos here at Talladega and hopefully chase my first win. But if not that, just get some good points, get the momentum going the right way, and then head to Dover next week.
Thanks, Riley. Regan?
Well, Jade Buford's teammate Parker Klingerman had some bad luck a few moments ago. Jade, unfortunately for you, though, no bad luck. Your race car has been very quick, 3rd right now, and you're back in the series this week. How nice has that been?
Oh, it's great to be back here in the Xfinity Series. We brought a fast number 5 double spike cooler Chevy Camaro here for this weekend. The Big Machine Racing boys have done an amazing job. Hopefully we can break through the second round. Hopefully she's as fast as Xfinity 10G.
Good luck, Jade. Thanks.
Looks good right now, and he might be right there on the edge of those drivers that have a chance to move on to the second round of qualifying. What is going on here, Michael? Jeb doing selfies. Maybe he's FaceTiming with somebody.
Maybe he's also looking at cars go around the track just to see if he can pick up anything, learn anything. There's so much information that these drivers lean on their crew chiefs to know about. He might be having a FaceTime call with his crew chief just to talk to him face to face. But chances are looking at some data, some information, just trying to learn more. See what the other drivers are doing, how their launches go.
What's his heart rate going to do when he takes to the track for qualifying?
It's going to bump up about 125, 127. And then when they get 4 wide in the draft tomorrow, it'll peak out about 160. I think he's on the phone. You're right.
Last week we were doing the heart rate monitor with Sammy Smith. And we had him in practice. You and I were up here together at Martinsville. And he was at like, I think 140, right around there is where he was. We had him resting in the car before the race started. It was at 80, 85.
Just like Jeb.
Heat of battle. It was 175, 180. He was getting after it. Here comes Jeb's teammate. Next car out in qualifying, 31, Parker Retzlaff. As Parker gets up to speed, we go to Regan.
Well, last time we were at Talladega last season, Jeffrey Earnhardt, for the spring race last season, Jeffrey Earnhardt put on a heck of a show, came so close to winning. You're 7th right now, another quick race car for you.
Yeah, not too bad. We knew we had a pretty good super speedway car. We ran this same car down in Daytona. Just happy to have a solid qualifying run for South Point Bank, a new partner of ours on the hood this weekend, and of course the black and green Forever on Grass machine. So yeah, setting not too bad, not a decent lap. We'll take whatever we end up here and go race hard tomorrow.
Good luck, Jeffrey. Thanks.
We talked about that racing hard tomorrow earlier. That was such a feel-good story for that whole effort of Jeffrey's a year ago. Parker Retzlaff is going to dive to the bottom here. Jeb Burton, he'll launch here. Second, getting off pit road. I talked about it earlier, Adam. It's just really important. See those tires just turning a little bit? I think that was a near perfect launch. You don't want to burn them up, but you got to have them spinning a bit. Listen to him go through the gears. I talked about that as well. Want to make that track as big as you can. On the left of the screen, that's Jeb right out next to the wall. That's it. That's him doing his job perfectly. You want to make it as big as you can so you can get as much momentum as you can when you come back to the start-finish line. Parker, just the opposite. You see the money lap, you're as low as you can get. Just don't want to get those two mixed up, Adam.
10th right now, Parker Chase. And he's not going to be there long because as he sits on the bubble, Retzlaff with plenty in hand coming to the line. He's in the green. And he will jump to 3rd. Nice effort by Parker Retzlaff. 52.90.
Hey, watch this little smooth dive to the bottom. About halfway through the tri-oval, you want to be heading right there to the bottom of the racetrack so you've got that nice straight line down into turn 1. And now just pin it as close to that yellow line as you can.
Got that hand hanging out there.
Just trying to block any air he can, do his part. He's doing it in the corners too. Car's driving well and he's able to try to get all he can. And it looks like it's going pretty good so far. A little bit in the bank down there as you see our tracker.
And it's really been gaining as the lap continued for Jeb Burton on the bubble right now when it comes to advancing to round 2. 92. of Josh Williams.
You asked the question, what's it going to take to make it? See the heart rate, it's bumped up to 140. It's just focus, concentration on getting everything he can. And that's what he's doing right at this moment.
Heart rate going up as the tracker gets into a better and better situation. Jeb Burton right there with his teammate. He goes to third in front of Retzlaff, 52.86.
Right now, 52.86, 52.86 P3. The pole's at 52.69.
I feel like, Adam, you're almost going to have to be in the 52s to move on. You asked earlier what I thought. It's starting to shape up to where, you know, if you're Parker, you probably feel okay, but if you're Jay Buford at 53.05, you might wonder.
You and I were saying during the break, you probably put that dividing line at 53. If you go under 53, got a real good shot of advancing. If you're over, it's going to be questionable. We'll continue to watch. Next up, back to the Ford camp. Here's Brett Moffitt.
Our 2018 truck champion. Always runs good here at Talladega, too. Loves these big tracks.
Top 10 here a season ago and coming off a top 10 finish at Martinsville. After an early spin, went a lap down, but battled back for a good evening.
He's going to be solidly inside the top 10 right now. Another one of those blue ovals, as you said. Very competitive.
Sixth, Brett Moffitt. Next up in qualifying, Ryan Truex. Look at this picture alongside brother Martin.
Yeah, he's driving for me in the left there. Back running the K&N series.
Martin Truex Jr. comes here driving for chance 2. Wins his first 3 starts at Talladega. Back to back to back. The only 3-time winner here. And Ryan been driving that 19 car off and on for Joe Gibbs Racing, really getting it done in the Xfinity Series.
You know, it was amazing to me. We talked to him at Phoenix in the spring. He said he hadn't been in a race car since July at Atlanta. And then he hops in that car and top 3s it. Just an amazing job this young man has done with this opportunity in this Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota.
And the first driver out in qualifying from Joe Gibbs Racing. So this will give us a little bit of a feel where they are on speed as far as qualifying goes.
He's not going to get in the 52s, it doesn't appear, Adam. But I guarantee you, when we go racing tomorrow, that car will be a part of the story. He's been so impressive. Near the 52s. Does he make it?
He does not. 53.088. Good enough for 7th right now for Ryan Truex. Look at these numbers for Austin Hill. He's a draft demon. 4 wins in the last 8. He's led the most laps in 5 of the last 6. And you see what he's done since he started driving that 21 car full-time at drafting tracks. 410 laps led, dating to Daytona, beginning of last season, where he got his first career victory.
Hear that car skimming along the track a bit. That's what you want to hear as a driver. That means she's tuned up. She's trimmed out, and you're getting all you can get. You can see he keeps both hands on the wheel. Interesting. Some do it one way and others another. Just so precise with his movements of his hands. You can't let that wheel be wandering around. That's just scrubbing off speed. Ultimate focus. And this is a good lap.
Undefeated on drafting tracks in 2023. Wins, as you saw in the graphic, at Daytona and Atlanta. Started from the pole position, actually qualified on the pole position at Daytona, had to drop to the rear when they made a radio change. And the lap for Austin Hill, good enough to move him to the top, 52.57. I feel real confident about his chances to move on to the next round of qualifying, Michael.
I think almost math tells you he's going to do just that, Adam.
Locked in.
Anthony.
Here comes Brandon Jones in the 9.
Anthony Alfredo getting bumped off the pole.
But that doesn't matter now, because it matters what you do in the second round of qualifying, and I feel like Anthony too will move on.
Brandon Jones. See, there's just about 1/10 of a second off the time of his teammate, Sam Mayer. Got to give it up for Brennan Poole and that team too. Solid run for them. You know, if you've got that kind of speed, like he and Earnhardt and Stacy Williams, all those cars right there have a chance to run in the top 5 come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, even if you don't advance, if you're knocking on the door of doing it when you consider the cars that have already gone, that's a really good situation. 13th for Brandon Jones.
Yeah, just outside of 53.3 seconds. Daniel Hemrick, he's one of the drivers I talked to today about his sheer speed and his approach to this race tomorrow afternoon. Really confident in what he has and what he's going to be able to do tomorrow.
2021 series champion driving for Kaulig, who have been so good when it comes to not just racing in the draft, but in particular here at Talladega Superspeedway, winning 4 of the last 6 with 3 different drivers.
About a 10th to the good right now of cracking into that top 10. It's a good looking ride, isn't it? All these cars are just trimmed out so well. Nose is right on the ground. As a driver, Adam, you're in there just squeezing your hands together, saying, hoping for the best, making sure you put your car right where it belongs, leaning forward even in your seat and saying, let's go, give me just a little bit more. This is going to be down in the 52s, I think.
Daniel Hemrick, 6th. Next up is teammate Chandler Smith. Talked to him earlier, winner at Richmond. Also was very, very good at Las Vegas. Nearly won that race after leading the most laps. Had it slip away from him late, but he has served notice early. In 2023, he is going to be a player, and here you see the numbers. 4 top 5s in 8 races. And one of those going for Rookie of the Year. And what a battle we will have there. The Smiths have been outstanding, both Chandler and Sammy.
This kid, we watched him come up through the Truck Series, and you just knew that he was going to make it to the next level and even make it to Cup one day. He just had that kind of ability behind the wheel to impress, no matter what kind of circuit we were at, whether it's a tight racetrack at Bristol or here the big track at Talladega.
His teammate on the board in 6th.
This is going to be about the same.
The lap for Chandler Smith, opening round of qualifying, good enough for 9th. That puts Ryan Truex on the bubble. There he is talking to crew chief Jason Ratcliffe.
We talked about we hadn't seen him since last July, Atlanta in the Xfinity Series. Doesn't look like he's cut his hair since then. Coming with the new look.
Let's not talk about hair.
Okay, we got a deal.
6 to go. First round of qualifying. That means the top 4 have locked into a position in round number 2 to run for the pole. Austin Hill, Anthony Alfredo, Sheldon Creed, Jeb Burton. So congratulations to them. Who will join them? Derek Kraus has been so impressive driving that 10 car. We talked about him earlier. Only 2 career starts. They came at short tracks. But you know, when you're driving for Kaulig here, you got a chance, and trying to keep that top 10 streak alive for the 10 car that's been in the top 10 every race so far this season.
As a race car driver for so many years, I'm just intrigued by the tracker, seeing, you know, whether it bounces a little bit better or a little bit worse the further you go around the track. He's just losing 1/100th of a second every 300, 400 yards, just so close to right where he needs to be, but he's going to miss out on advancing.
11th for Kraus.
But that's all right. Like you said, you're right around that top 10. You know you're going to have a car that can win this race tomorrow.
Top 5 are locked in to run for the pole. That means both Jeb Burton and Parker Retzlaff driving for Jordan Anderson. We know they're at least going to start in the top 10. They've got a shot to win the pole at Talladega. That's incredible.
There was Cole Custer's launch as he fires out of the pits. Man, this guy, I'm still thinking he's going to be. I know there's a dominant performance from John Hunter Nemechek last week, and Austin Hill's been so good. Cole Custer, to me, will be one of the guys in that championship 4. He's just going to get better and better all year long, and he's going to go run for a championship. That's my prediction.
he's not been unbelievable when it comes to drafting in the Xfinity Series. Only 2 top 10s, but one of those coming earlier this season at Daytona. Allgaier tracking to jump inside the top 10. Third car from Junior Motorsports to make a run.
He does it.
Great effort for Allgaier, up to 7th, and he'll be right there on the edge of being able to advance as we pick up Cole Custer.
Riding along on his helmet. If you're wondering what's going on with this camera bouncing around, this is what it feels like if you're a race car driver to run around this Talladega Superspeedway. Talked earlier about losing a little bit of grip. You can see the bounces, the bumps that he's having to negotiate while keeping that left front pinned right down on the bottom of the racetrack. What about that beautiful view? You come off turn 2 with that in your windshield on the last lap, you're thinking pretty positively you're going to win the race, but so many times it all goes wrong before you get back to the checkered.
How much will this tell us about the competition tomorrow? This camera angle in the draft will be spectacular.
Unbelievable. Every race car driver in that garage area will tell you this is their favorite camera because it tells the people at home just what it's like, and what a great view out the front of that Ford.
Custer right now in the red, so he's not going to jump inside the top 10. 16th for Custer.
Well, it was fun to ride with him though, wasn't it?
3 to go. Josh Berry, Sammy Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and they're all chasing not only a spot in the top 10, but P1 in round 1. Austin Hill holds it down now, today celebrating his 29th birthday and trying to celebrate it on the pole in Talladega, Alabama.
That's a good afternoon, isn't it?
That'd be all right.
Josh Berry. See Allgaier up there in that 7th spot for Junior Motorsports.
He's locked in.
He's in. Josh trying to join him. Brandon Jones down in 18th. Sam Mayer in 14th. That could have to do somewhat, like I talked about earlier, Adam, maybe a little bit better drafting car these teams are thinking. We'll just have to see how it plays out tomorrow.
Barry's not going to find his way into the top 10 here. We'll see where he slots in with 2 to go. 18th, right down there near his teammate Brandon Jones. Chandler Smith is on the bubble. 2 remaining. The Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing, the first of those. The other rookie, Sammy Smith. 2nd last week at Martinsville, won earlier this season, first of his career at Phoenix.
What about our first 8 cars are all from the Bowtie Brigade? Those Chevys looking awful strong here to start, and we talked about the manufacturer alliance and how important that is. Brett Moffitt breaks up a Chevy sweep. No Toyotas in the top 10.
Ghost car comparing the lap of Chandler Smith to Sammy Smith as Sammy tries to make his way into the 2nd round of qualifying.
Look how close that is. 39 1/1000ths of a second, and it's just holding steady. Starting to gain a little bit off 4. That is close, isn't it?
The margin so slim here at Talladega, getting better and better for Sammy Smith, but not enough. He's 11th, 19 1/1000ths of a second behind Chandler Smith, who as of now would advance, but he's got to dodge one more. Last week's winner, final car, opening round of qualifying, John Hunter Nemechek. Brett Moffitt knows he is going to have a chance to advance to the 2nd round and run for the pole. He is 9th.
And that's when it gets a little bit more fun, when you see what they all ran one time around the racetrack, and then they line them up and do it again. You know, who's able to pick up time, who's able to improve upon what they had in the first round.
You know, Nemechek, we talk about what he's done this year. A pair of wins, California last week on the short track at Martinsville. He's also got a couple of runner-ups, one of those coming at Daytona. So he's not just an intermediate or a short track guy. He can go out and get it done in the draft.
And we knew that. He's the real deal, all around terrific race car driver, no matter where you put him. Looks like he's going to be able to advance.
His dad, a qualifying machine at Talladega. Joe Nemechek, 5 poles here in the Xfinity Series. John Hunter going to have a chance to join him. He is 6th. All Chandler Smith can do is laugh. He's on the outside looking in. He'll start 11th tomorrow. And now we know the 10 cars that will run for the pole. The fastest of the bunch, the birthday boy, Austin Hill. There they are, those going after the top spot at Talladega. They're all following number 21.
That's the guy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Opening round of qualifying is complete here at Talladega Superspeedway. These are the 10 drivers that will move on and run for the pole. 8 Chevys, a Toyota, and a Ford.
Yeah, the Chevy dominance in qualifying is really interesting. It'll be fun to see what they can do tomorrow afternoon. And Adam, you look nice today. Your shirt looks like you got on your pajamas.
Well, I appreciate that. Maybe I should take a nap and you can handle the second round of qualifying. I go back to the margins thing, and the separation is so tight here when you talk about drivers moving on and then not having a chance to go run for the pole.
And that's why I think it's really important for folks watching at home. If your driver's a half a second off, he's got a chance to win this race. And we're talking a few hundredths of a second separating from advance into the next round. So speed here is important, but the draft makes up for so much of that. You're making a statement during qualifying, though. Austin Hill saying, I'm hard to beat on these big tracks, and I've got the fastest car in Alabama.
And the other thing I would say about Austin Hill, he's been a great qualifier in this configuration, great racer as well. But what he's been so good at is controlling the field once he's up front. He could very well be in a position to do that again here tomorrow.
Yeah, and I was listening to he and his spotter work together at Atlanta, and it was like magic. They were completing each other's sentences. Nealon was telling him everywhere to go, how to move that car around and position it where it needed to be. That's impressive, and a very important part of tomorrow's race, communication with your spotter.
Derek Nealon is someone that really does, as you said, an outstanding job on the spotter stand. He'll be calling the shots for Austin Hill here tomorrow. Let's go down to Regan.
Well, I had one of the cars getting ready to go make that second lap is going to be Daniel Hemrick, 7th in the first round. I know it's tough to ask this question, but did you leave anything out there that you guys can find just a little bit more?
You know, I feel like this is a great opportunity to plug Fission by Circle. Typically, it's just a regular Circle bottle, but I need a little boost, which is what Fission is. Need a boost for the second round. So hopefully so. Jason Chincheri said that all we need to do is get the Chevrolet, get the ECR power up to temp. I feel good about that. No, it's always fun to be here. College Racing brings really fast Chevrolets, and yeah, lucky enough to get the whole steering wheel for another round. And maybe I woke up. I was asleep right before I walked out here for the first round. So yes, I'm awake. Fission's got me awake. We're ready.
I'm glad you're awake. Good luck in the next round, Josh.
Yeah, Jeb Burton laying down a fast lap last time out and doing a little Facebook Live before talking to the people, talking to the fans. What's the deal?
Yeah, and I did not have it in the race car. I gave it back to my PR guy, so I didn't get in trouble for that. But, yeah, the guys have brought a fast hot rod. Really proud of them. Last about 4 or 5 weeks, we've been hitting our stride, getting a bunch of top 15s, and really proud of everybody at Jordan Anderson Racing. Want to thank Solid Rock Carriers for coming on board. They do a ton for late model stock drivers all around the country, and happy to have them on the car, and just excited for this weekend. I won this race a couple years ago. Was running 5th the last lap last year on this race and got blocked, but just glad to be back in Talladega. Thanks to Xfinity Internet for putting on a great series, and just looking forward to tomorrow.
And you talk about being glad to be back here. What do you remember about that day and getting that win, and how special this place is to you?
Man, I was leading the year before that in the 8 car and didn't get the win. So to come back here with the 10 car and get the win was really special. I've been lucky to drive some fast race cars here at Talladega, and right there, that's all these guys working at the shop. These guys were working in the shop until 9 o'clock a bunch of nights. They're away from their families, and their hard work's not going unnoticed, and really appreciate it.
Thanks, good luck, Jeb.
His dad won the Daytona 500 2002. Wedged in between your 2 victories in the Great American Race, 2001, 2003. But I'll never forget Jeb's first win in the Craftsman Truck Series. Came at Texas Motor Speedway. His dad, Ward, was on the spotter stand. I swore he took a zip line to victory lane. That's how excited he was about Jeb getting it done. Regan?
Well, and we just talked to Jeb Burton, and of course, Jordan Anderson is Jeb Burton's owner. You got both of your cars into the second round at Talladega. I know how much this place means to you, and especially coming back here after the truck race last year. How cool is it to see that as the owner?
Yeah, it's safe to say it's a little emotional. It's a big just, we talk about small victories as a growing team, and events like this where we can show off the hard work of the guys in the shop I mean, they're not working 7 to 5. These guys are putting the hours. They have a lot of heart. They believe in what we're trying to build here. They got a vision for it. And, you know, Talladega after last year, all we went through the heartbreak to come back here. My first time back at the track since that happened, it's like I kind of had goosebumps when I was talking to you. We were watching all the cars that were going through, and man, what a blessing to see all the hard work pay off. And Jeb and Parker, they got Funkaway, Solid Rock on the car this weekend. This whole thing was just an idea that we had back in 21, and to see it continue to take off. And you look at last week at Martinsville, Parker qualified 4th. They both finished in the top 15. I mean, it's just so cool to see it come together. I mean, everybody that's followed this journey knows all that's gone into it, all the late nights and the road trips, everything goes into it. And it's just fun to see the little guy take one against some of the big guys and see us taking this thing off. So for all you guys at home, this was like a win for us. And I mean, you guys did call us the dark horse maybe to win this thing tomorrow. And between Parker and Jeb, these guys are so talented at these races and just being smart and being there at the end. So who knows, maybe we'll surprise somebody. So if you guys are out there betting on us, put a little bit on the 27 and 31 tomorrow.
Thanks, Jordan.
We got a nice piece on race day tomorrow with Jordan Anderson, 3 Eastern time here on FS1. These are the drivers that failed to qualify. David Starr, Jason White, Jesse Awuji, and Mike Harmon going home. There are the 10 vehicles going for the pole. Second round qualifying when we return to Talladega. It's time to find out who will start on the pole for round 9 of the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2023. Races tomorrow, live on FS1, and these are the 10 drivers that moved on from round 1 to round 2. Brett Moffitt advancing by 2 1/1000ths of a second over Chandler Smith. He'll be the first to go out.
I think it'd be interesting, Adam, I said earlier, to see who's able to pick up the most. I think with all the fluids in the car heating up, transmission, rear gear, all that, I believe they will run faster in the second round. We'll see who picks up the most and is able to improve their position the most, and if anybody can take down Austin Hill, who, like you said, starts up front, has an innate ability just to control the race, keeps it up front once he gets there. And it's going to be a short trip to the front for him tomorrow.
I would bet it's going to be Austin Hill, just because he's always so good and he's the fastest today. But when you look at the list of drivers that was able to advance, it's kind of like last week at Martinsville. We could have an upset in qualifying. The guy trying to get it done last Friday, Parker Retzloff, he's here. Jeb Burton, Anthony Alfredo, you saw, Jade Buford.
And Brett Moffitt kicks off this final round of qualifying here at Talladega. Straight out of pit road, right up onto the racetrack. See his results there in the 2 drafting tracks this season. That 6th at Atlanta was really impressive. Had to scramble late to get there and did just that.
You know the worst stat in NASCAR, most misleading stat in NASCAR, Michael?
0 for 462?
No, not that. I know that was yours before you won the Daytona 500 in 2001.
That's a misleading stat, I just have to tell you.
No, the stat that I was going to give is average finish at a drafting track.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be the best driver ever in the draft, and your average finish is like 14.2, right? Because you get involved so many times in messes that aren't of your own making.
Brett Moffitt got through the gears clean, had a nice launch. He's done all he can do other than just pin it to the bottom and hope a lot. I said this earlier, but as race car drivers, I know it's a weird thing, but you're just so intense right now behind the wheel of this car, just hoping you can do anything to eke out a couple of hundredths of a second. That's what Brett's doing right now.
You said it though, clean. That is a word that really describes success in qualifying. Daytona, Talladega, just making sure you're smooth and you don't leave anything on the table.
The worst thing you can do is stall the engine or make the engine bog down when you leave pit road, because all your crew guys, you heard Jordan Anderson talk about all the men and women that work on those cars to make them go fast. Most of them are standing there watching you when you drop the clutch. You better make sure you do it right, or it's about 55 seconds of running around thinking, darn, I let them down.
Opening lap for Brett Moffitt that put him into the second round, 53.055. Let's see what the driver out of Iowa does here in round 2. 53.16. Slowed down a bit.
He lost a 10th there. See if that's a trend, or if his car didn't quite run on the second time out like he thought it would.
Jade Buford, who easily advanced to the second round of qualifying, 9th in round 1, beat Chandler Smith, who was on the outside looking in by 7 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, easily.
Wasn't even close.
That's one bobble of the wheel, isn't it? See here, he's running a little bit quicker than Moffitt. Say hello to Scott Bruschetta, owns that team. Hope the recovery's going well, Scott. We miss you at the track. Always love that smile of yours. Starting to put a little bit in the bank, isn't he, Adam?
He is indeed. Look at that. Tracker going in the right direction for Jade Buford. He's been a real good qualifier when it comes to this style of racing.
And if you got a car you are known as a good qualifier in, that means you've got a fast car. Although that car doesn't look overly stable on this run, you can see it bobbing around a little bit. I think maybe Jade will watch this video tonight and say it's going to go straight tomorrow, isn't it, guys?
He has a nice pickup, 52.902 after running a 53.05 in the first round, Michael.
Yeah, I felt like, and I know Brett went out and was slower right off, and I said they'd all be faster. I feel like they should be faster. I mean, common sense would tell you once the drivetrain's all warmed up, should go a little bit better, but we'll see.
Third car, round 2, Justin Allgaier trying to get Junior Motorsports their 4th victory at Talladega Superspeedway.
Look at him. I just love when they get that left front right down there by that line. So precise. Got a little bit under it off turn 2, but losing some ground too.
Mentioned Junior Motorsports here. Elliott Sadler got it done in 2016 when Justin was 2nd. Mentioned Regan 2013, and 1 season ago the 9-car of Noah Gregson getting the 3rd win for JRM here at Talladega. Tracker is putting him about 50 thousandths of a second behind Buford, and that's where he lands, 52.95 for Justin Allgaier. He picks up, but not enough to go to the top of the board. Here's Daniel Hemrick.
Daniel said he has taken a nap, got some of his energy drink in him, and he's ready to go make a qualifying run. If you take a nap, nothing better to wake you up than a lap around Talladega.
You said I needed to take a nap, or at least you suggested I was heading that way doing the show in my pajamas.
Well, you know, fashion is perceived differently by many, and I've always thought of you as making fashion statements.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be able to make it up to you, am I?
No, we won't recover from this one.
See, Jade's got a bit of an edge over Daniel. How about that? How much, you pick up a little bit, you're able to bump your way up the grid a few spots.
This format is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Having 2 rounds and 10 cars advancing and getting a second chance, if you will.
The second chance for Daniel Hemrick's going to slot him in at about the same speed I think he just ran, 52.99, and he was a 9.7 before, so no change there much.
Just right there, he's 3rd. Jade Buford's loving this because everyone that falls behind him, that's one more spot further forward on the grid that he will start tomorrow.
You think he's starting to think pole yet, Adam?
I think it's a little early for that, I would say.
I like the colors on that Mobil 1 car. It's always just real bright and pretty, kind of like that 02 Ollie's car. I like when you have nice looking race cars that really pop to the eyeball.
John Hunter Nemechek, last week's winner. As you said, good looking race car, and the tracker likes it as well. In the green.
This is all individual laps, real important for your team to bring fast cars to the track, but man, tomorrow you're going to see such chaos, as we heard a couple of the drivers speaking down on pit road with Josh and Regan. Chaos will ensue.
Halfway home in the second round of qualifying, John Hunter Nemechek, the fastest, 52.84 for the lone Toyota to move on. Nice pickup there for him.
Yeah, 1/10 of a second. Parker Retzloff driving for Jordan Anderson. You could just feel Jordan's emotion, couldn't you, when he's talking about his team and everything it means to him?
How fun was it last week to watch the drama of qualifying when Retzloff shocked everybody, went to the top, and he just kept dodging fast car after fast car and ended up fourth. But at the end of the day, a real win for that team, and finished inside the top 15, which was really, really impressive for the rookie from Wisconsin.
We've had fun watching him get up and running in the Xfinity Series, haven't we, Adam? Showed up at Phoenix last year and turned our heads with a great qualifying run.
A virtual unknown.
Yeah.
And he comes to Phoenix, never been there, and impressed.
And that's a hard track. I mean, to qualify like that out there, it just tells you what kind of talent this young man has.
Doesn't look like the tracker is indicating a pole run, but he's going to have a real good starting spot tomorrow. Retzloff second of the 6 drivers that have been out in round 2. 52.87 is his time.
That'll bring Jeb Burton up next. He ran a 52.86 in his first round of qualifying, so if he can pick up anything at all, he can take down John Hunter. John Hunter with that 84, that's a 10th better than he ran in the first round, so Jeb's trying to pick up that much at least. I liked him talking about, I almost won here, we did win here, you know, and being in contention that many times, that's what it's all about on a super speedway, putting yourself in position.
But we talked about this earlier. The one thing Jeb has got going for him is the competitors have confidence in him in the draft, which means he'll catch some breaks in this race tomorrow when he needs someone to go with.
And they'll watch and say, well, he can drive one-handed. He's pretty good.
Guessing we won't see that much here tomorrow.
No, you're looking for a third arm tomorrow. He's so busy and so chaotic.
Teammate is second. Nemechek is P1. Jeb Burton jumps to 5th here. Only 3 to go. First of those, Sheldon Creed. And 2 of the final 3 that we will see from Richard Childress Racing. They won both poles here last year. Springtime went to Jeffrey Earnhardt driving the 3 car, and last fall it was all about Austin Hill, who was the fastest in round 1 today.
Pretty good lap going. Half a tenth to the good so far. Looks like it's growing a little bit down the backside.
Wants to give his teammates something to shoot for, Michael.
I'll tell you something to get your attention in qualifying too, Adam. Sometimes you'll be running down that long back straightaway and you'll see all those black marks sliding into the wall, and you're like, yep, this is Talladega. It says it on the wall, and it is.
Sometimes you don't have to read the sign on the wall to realize where you are. Look at this. Sheldon Creed lays it down. 52.72 for the driver from California. Only 2 remain, and they're chasing that 2 car.
First one is Anthony Alfredo. How cool is this?
Driving for BJ McLeod.
See, he was 13th at Richmond in qualifying, but not much other than that. Here we go. He did his job off on the launch there, Adam. You heard the engine strong and steady, no tire spin. As Alfredo was about a 10th off, but look, gaining some ground on the back. Stretching those gears out. Here's Austin Hill. Solid run for Anthony.
Alfredo coming back to the line. We'll see where he slots in. Be the 9th car to take time in our 2nd round of qualifying. 78 is 5th. So he'll start on the front 3 rows tomorrow for sure. Last car out. Could it be an all RCR front row? Sheldon Creed leads the way in qualifying. Here's his teammate, Austin Hill.
I think it will be an all RCR front row. We'll just see.